I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about the chart of Prince Andrew because he has, as of recently, gotten into some trouble based on the chart and the experience of Jeffrey Epstein. He has now been named as being involved with some of Epstein's illicit affairs with underage girls. And this is serious. And what I'm seeing in his chart is definitely something that is coming to the surface. Now, looking at astrology, you can see that now is the time that things are coming up and being exposed. So I want to put up the chart of Prince Andrew right here. And as you can see, Prince Andrew, in his chart, his ascendant is Cancer. So he is a very sensitive soul. But looking at this, the place that I look whenever I'm looking at something that deals with sexual indiscretions, for the most part, has to do with either the 8th house or the 12th house. The 8th house can deal with secrets, sexuality, and it definitely can deal with addictions and problems to this extent. Or the 12th house, which is also deals with sexuality. As we say in Vedic astrology, it is the house that deals with hidden pleasures, or pleasures of the bed is what they particularly call the 12th house. But looking at Prince Andrew's chart, let's go to the 8th house. Look what we have here in the 8th house. It is his sun. It is his Mercury. The sun is our soul. It's our spirit. It's consciousness. And being in the 8th house, not everybody that has 8th house planets has these issues. But I believe when I pull up the chart of Jeffrey Epstein, which he was known to commit suicide in prison this past summer, but let me just say, it wasn't suicide by the looks of his chart. So that is a complete hoax and scandalous. But let's put up Jeffrey Epstein's. Now, let me remind everyone, I don't know his time of birth, so we base everything on the moon, which we call Chandra Lagna, which works incredibly. So if you don't have your birth time, make the moon the ascendant. And so that's what I particularly did here. I put the moon in Pisces because it marks the ascendant. So looking at Jeffrey Epstein's chart from the moon, we have Venus and Mars in the 12th house, those secret hidden bed pleasures. And Mars and Venus, by the way, deal with sexuality together. One's passion, one's love. Put them together, it can deal with magnetism about sexuality. But when you go to Epstein's chart, the ruler of the 8th house is Mars. And it goes to the 12th house with Venus. So there's this connection between the 8th and the 12th house that can deal with this corruption and this addiction he had to young underage girls, which was pretty intense. He had a problem here. But what I find fascinating was during the time of his death, Neptune, transiting Neptune, was around 22, 23 degrees of Aquarius, right on his Mars and his Venus. Now, the reason why I'm relating Epstein's chart to Prince Andrew, notice where Prince Andrew's Mercury is in his 8th house, 23 degrees of Aquarius. There was a lot of secrets. What do I always say about Neptune? It reveals the hidden secrets. It surfaces them. And it also deals with things we don't know. So things are starting to surface now. That Prince Andrew had a connection. Well, he's at one point said that Jeffrey Epstein was one of his best friends. He was known to go to parties, and Epstein was on his list of social events when he had parties. And likewise, Prince Andrew was known to fly to Jeffrey Epstein's island, where all sorts of things went on behind the scenes. But it is all coming out now. And of course, Prince Andrew says he regrets his relationship with Epstein. But it doesn't erase the past. Look at this Neptune in his 8th house. Now we have Prince Andrew's time of birth, so his ascendant is in Cancer. And his Mercury, which is in the 8th house of these secrets and addictions and hidden agendas, rules the 12th house of secrets. So Mercury is ruler of the 12th in the 8th. And it's with the Sun in the 8th house. But most importantly, transiting Neptune is sitting on it for most of this year. So a lot more is about to come out. But somehow, because Prince Andrew is royalty, I mean, he is the Queen of England's favorite son. That is what has been said, but who knows? It's probably the tabloids that say all that. But the most interesting thing of all is astrology doesn't lie. And Neptune on his Mercury says there is a lot that has not been revealed. And he's with his involvement in this case. Will he be accused, or will he have to have any retribution or punishment for this? Probably not, because he's royalty. A lot of people, and especially in the royal family, do not get away with things. But another thing that I've discovered, this is not sitting well with Queen Elizabeth. I looked at her chart too, and I get that over the course of the next 2 years, this is going to really wear on her severely. It's going to 2 years. So going back right now, looking at where all the planets are going to be transiting for the next few months is crucial for Prince Andrew, because where Jupiter and Ketu are, he's got Jupiter and Ketu are in his 6th house, which can deal with legal problems. The 6th house deals with what? Enemies. Open enemies, and that deals with lawsuits. So he is going to deal with a lot of lawsuits while we have Jupiter Ketu in the sign of Sagittarius throughout 2020. But furthermore, as Mars starts to transit into Sagittarius, which it will be there beginning February 7th through March 22nd of 2020, he's got a lot of legal action to deal with, lawsuits, enemies, things coming at him with Mars Ketu in his 6th house. And furthermore, as we have Neptune going back and forth over his Mercury, there is a lot more that is about to surface concerning him and the corruption, possibly, of the royal family. Many things are about to be exposed. And looking at the month of March and April, when Mars and Saturn are together in his 7th house. This is going to be crossing over his Venus and Mars in Capricorn. But it will be after that, in the months of May and June, when transiting Mars is in Aquarius. Yes, it's going to be in June. June, when Mars comes and conjoins Neptune, and they will be together on his Mercury in the 8th house. And I think there's going to be a lot more that's dug up. And yes, he's in trouble with Mars and Neptune on his natal Mercury, which Mercury in his chart does rule the 3rd house of communications, but the 12th house of secrets. Yes, this is going to be a difficult year for Prince Andrew, based on mainly Neptune. Neptune reveals the darkest secrets of all. And you know, in the world, when Neptune comes together with Mars, it's going to involve a lot of people. This is coming up in June. So be aware and be conscious of this aspect. So for now, I think that's enough. I just wanted you to see how Epstein and Prince Andrew have this deep, dark connection, and that the transit of Neptune is surfacing it and the truth is being revealed. So with that, I'd like to close. If you would like more information or a consultation from me, you can always go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. Or if you would like to take your studies further with Vedic astrology, I have an online university, which is University of Vedic Astrology.com. Thank you.